What up, people? Happy Wednesday. Kamari Ellis here. Welcome to the Finance Rebel Show. Y'all know what today is. Today is Wednesday. Every Wednesday we do Wealthy Wednesdays where I answer your questions live. So all questions are welcome. Go ahead and throw them in the chat, throw them in the comments, anything that you may have. And for the next couple of minutes, maybe an hour, I ain't staying with y'all all night. Y'all know I got to get my vittles. I got to get my food. And let's see what y'all going to be talking about. Hopefully y'all not going to be on here asking me no divorce questions about philandering phonies out here in these streets, giving relationship advice, but they are hypocrites in and of themselves. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. And then they have a whole book for sale. Gotta love it. But listen, you know what they say, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So I get it. I get it. What up, Jody? Jody says, what up, African? What up, African? How are you? Happy Wednesday. I don't know what that means, Jody. Is that a plant? But listen, it's tax season. If y'all don't know, tax season has been extended, but that does not mean drag your tail to get your taxes done. Don't let that time go by, because I saw it last year. Everybody waited. Tax deadline got extended until July 15th, and everybody waited until September 15th or October 15th instead of actually getting it done in July. So this year, tax season got extended to May 17th, right? Because the 15th is a Saturday. You're usually not going to have any tax due dates on the weekends. Why? Because nobody's there. The government's closed. The government's shut down. All right. So we have it May 17th. It's a Monday. Put it on your calendar. All right. Make sure you don't miss the deadline. Remember, it's the deadline to file your taxes. It is not the deadline to pay your taxes. All right. All right. Scorpio Gang 1. What's up, cousin? Kayana, how are you? Liberian girl, how are you? I saw your comment today too, Liberian girl. Y'all saw I was up to some of my normal tax antics today on my IG. And I think I shared it on my Facebook. Some of y'all said it was too early. But while we're waiting for everybody to come in and fill the pews, let's take a look at it. Let's take a quick look at it. I'm sure everybody hasn't seen it just yet. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about a meme that I created. Well, I kind of borrowed it. I was inspired by it, right? A meme that I was inspired by that I shared out here on the social webs about the current situations of fake phony philanderers out here looking to raid your money and steal all of your pocket change. But let me pull it up real quick as everybody follows in. My apologies to everybody on Instagram who can't see this, but all you got to do is go to my IG timeline. You'll see it there. You'll see it there. Y'all know I like to have fun with a little bit of shenanigans. I'm not too over the top, but a good joke is a good joke. So this was today's joke. This is what I shared today. What's up, Karan? How are you, sir? Jose, how are you? You was on YouTube super early today waiting on my live. My man, thank you, Karan. Don Johnson's in the building. How are you, Don? Okay, I got you. Thank you for promoting me, Jody. Thank you for sharing. What's up, Karan? How you doing, brother? Roby's in the building. How are you? How are you? What's up, Trey? How you doing? Good and plenty, Rennie. How are you? So y'all see the meme. Just having a little bit of fun. Listen, y'all can't have all this fun talking about my man, Mr. Jackson, and not include me in a little bit in it, right? So I just said, it's a meme of him and his wife and that vicious chokehold of a handhold. I guess that's what you call it. But he says, I swear I'll be different this time. I'm a changed man. I promise never to cheat on my taxes again. So, I don't think it's showing the whole thing. Let's see here. I don't want to rob y'all of my fun. So I'm sharing my fun with y'all. So again, just having a little bit of fun with the daily news. I guess it's news. I don't know what you call it. But listen, everybody's here. Everybody's gathering. What questions do you have? Again, this is Wealthy Wednesdays. I'm here to answer all your questions that you might have about money, taxes, stocks, investments, insurance, business, whatever you got questions about, as long as it relates to money, I'll answer. I will answer. So cheers to everybody today, because I'm on like my fourth cup of coffee. I've been burning the midnight oil. Folks got me out here busy. So, all right, what's up, folks? What questions do you have today? Or do y'all just want to hear what I have to say? Talking about fake, phony philanderers, fake, phony internet, gospel pimping people. I don't hear me talk about that all day. That gets boring after a while. I will say this. I do feel sorry for the wife. Nobody should be embarrassed like that. No lady should be embarrassed like that. But I do wonder if she's going to join in the bandwagon and the fun, because clearly he's been a hypocrite this whole time. But if people buy the book, more power to them. More power to them. Ain't knocking nobody's hustle. Crystal Financial, how are you? Missy Edwards, 44, how are you? JR 718-202, how are you? Cavi 333, how are you? Welcome. Why y'all acting shy tonight? Usually any other night, the chat's full. Everybody's asking questions, but nobody has anything tonight. We starting off slow. All right. Well, if y'all just want to hear me talk, I can do that too. That's not a problem. All right. So let's see. What we going to talk about? Who asked questions? Yeah, the whole situation is terrible, but listen, I don't knock anybody's marriage, right? But I do think, right? I tell y'all all my stuff. I'm transparent, right? Like I told y'all last week that I got mad student loans. So ain't nobody out here faking it like I'm super duper rich and I'm pulling up in Lambos. So if y'all see me pulling up in Lambos or renting jets to take pictures, either I'm really, really rich, and I ain't telling nobody, or I'm faking it. Simple and plain, folks. Simple and plain. And I'm going to tell you right now, the way my morals are set up and the way my bank account's set up, I'm not going to be out here just taking photo shoots just to put it on the gram. I might do a photo shoot, right? Everybody knows me and Courtney has been doing Unlocking the Tax Code. By the way, stay tuned for that new one. That will be dropping on April 15th. It will be for real estate investors, right? So we're going to be unlocking the tax code for Black real estate investors. That one is up next. But like I said, I'm not just going to be taking photos just for the sake of taking photos just for the gram. That's not even my style, folks. Not even my style. So, but I do wonder now, I'm wondering if she's going to come out with a book, start her own platform, and be involved with it. But I don't know. What do y'all think? All right, so Jody says, I watched a YouTube video, most of it, but it was kind of long about Bitcoin. Well, listen, do you want microwavable food or do you want that good home-cooked grandma Nana type stuff that you got to throw in the oven? Listen, baby, I'm a slow burn. I'm a slow burn. So how does Bitcoin, et cetera, translate to money? Well, Bitcoin is cryptocurrency, right? Cryptocurrency. Many people tout it as an actual real currency, like it's a store of value. I would disagree with that to a large extent, but that's not the question. So I'll just stay here. How do you make money with it? It's been rising in price. So Jody, if you want a simple explanation, is Bitcoin is a way to spend money with people in your closed loop. So you said to me today, what's up, African, right? So what if you had a bunch of people, right, that flew that RBG flag And they said, you know what? We're going to be dedicated to spending money with Black businesses and Black businesses alone, but we want to create our own economic system. You could use Bitcoin to do that to a certain degree, right? But it's a way to pay for things in exchange for goods and services, right? Some people also mine Bitcoins, right? Because you gotta use a whole bunch of electricity to form a Bitcoin, right? This is not physical, folks. This is all happening in the digital world. So Ms. Edwards asked me, what am I talking about? I'm talking about Jody Austin on Facebook asked me, how does Bitcoin translate to money? So people can buy stuff with Bitcoin, right? It's still not widely in circulation, but there are Bitcoin ATMs. There are Bitcoin retailers. Matter of fact, Tesla recently announced that they would take Bitcoin to buy a Tesla. So that's one way you can go about it. Again, it's a medium of exchange. Jose says you could also purchase a home, pay rent. Yes, you can, and buy pizza. So those are some of the things you can do with Bitcoin. You can purchase a home, pay rent, all with Bitcoin. Yes, there's just not a lot of people taking it. All right. So how you doing, Brian? Brian Singletary asks, what are your thoughts on infinity banking? It's a great concept for people who have high disposable income. It's not so much for people who don't have high disposable income. And what do I mean by disposable income? Disposable income is just money left over. I've seen it sold to people who I feel not good for. But to answer the question, what is infinity banking? So the concept of infinity banking is the concept that instead of putting money in the bank, you can put money into an insurance program, a cash value life insurance policy, usually with a mutual company or a mutual life insurance company. Actually, there is a YouTube video on infinity banking on my YouTube channel. Now, I haven't talked about it in a while, and the only person that I know that I feel is reputable to talk about it is Curtis Mays. So I need to have him back on to talk about it. Because again, it does have its merits. But, some other advisors would say it's just a fancy way of selling life insurance, which I get. But again, they talk about putting money into a cash value life insurance policy, usually from a mutual life insurance company. And when I say mutual life insurance company, I'm talking about those that are owned by the policy owners. You have mutual life insurance companies, and then you have public. An example of that would be a MetLife or a Prudential. Those are both public life insurance companies. A mutual life insurance company that is owned by the policy owners would be like a New York Life or a Mass Mutual. Okay, so again, I think it's good, but basically you take your money, you put it into the insurance policy. The insurance policy grows, the cash value grows, tax-free. And then as you amass more money in it, you're able to take the money out and use it for things like maybe buying a house or retiring or buying a car. So instead of going to have to buy it or borrow money from the bank, you can borrow money from your cash value life insurance policy. So again, I don't have a problem with the policy or the concept. Everything isn't for everybody. I've seen it sold to CNAs, right? Certified nursing assistants who don't make a lot of money. Oftentimes they might make anywhere between 12 and like $25 an hour. So they don't have a whole lot of disposable income. And this is no diss to my CNAs out there because they do a valuable service. But in my opinion, they would be better off keeping that money in their bank account. Why? All right. So there's a feature in life insurance called surrender value. What's surrender value? So usually, when you put money into life insurance, for example, let's say you put $1,000 into a life insurance policy. Typically on day one, when you get that life insurance policy, you're not able to pull that whole $1,000 out. There's a surrender schedule. And so the surrender schedule will tell you that, okay, in year one, you can pull out, I don't know, 75% of the policy. Let's not get caught up on the numbers here. This is all hypothetical, but let's say 75% of the value of that $1,000 cash value, right? In year six, it might be 70%. In year five, it might be 50%. In year four, it might be 30% that you can take out, right? The surrender value will give a penalty. So the penalty may be 70% in, let's say, year seven, 50% in year five. Penalty again in year four may be 30%, right? And then it goes all the way down to zero where there's no more penalty and your money is free and clear. So again, it's, in my opinion, it's for those who have money, disposable income. They don't need it, right? They can let the money sit and do what it's supposed to do. This is for long-term. I don't want to say the term investing, but I'm going to use the term investing. I don't like using the term investing when it comes to life insurance because people do that as a sales tactic, and I think it's bad. But again, there are values to it, right? Again, you can put money into a life insurance policy. A lot of people liken it to a Roth, right? You could put $6,000 into a Roth if you're under 50, $7,000 if you're over 50. However, you can put a whole lot more money into a life insurance policy than you can in a Roth. So there is, again, there's some benefits, but it depends on who it is, right? It depends on who it is. It depends on your situation in life. It depends on, do you have money in the bank? Most Americans can't survive a $400 emergency. So that's why I don't think it's good for everybody. So, Brian, I hope that was a clear and concise explanation for you. Let me know if you need further clarification. I don't mind at all. Anybody else have any other questions? Miss Steph Mo, how are you? Cavi 333 says biggest fees come out in the first 10 years. Yeah, sometimes the first 10 years, sometimes it's 12 years, sometimes it's 7 years, sometimes it's 5 years. Every policy is different. One Love Project, how are you? I hope I'm saying your name right. Kiana Beasley, how are you? Thanks for joining us. Cav 33 says, okay. Says Tesla. Yes, Tesla for buying with Bitcoin. All right, Miss Edwards 44 asks, what are index funds? So index funds are, think of a basket, right? And in that basket, think of you going to the grocery store. And in that grocery store, you can put your eggs in there, you can put your milk in there, you can put your cheese in there. Hopefully you got a lot of vegetables, right? Because we all need more vegetables in our life. We want to be alkaline, but I don't want to go too much into a tangent on that, right? But we're putting food in our basket. Okay, so take all the food out of our basket. We're putting stocks in our basket. We're putting investment in our baskets, right? And so in that basket, you could have stock companies that invest and follow the S&P 500, which is the 500 largest U.S. publicly traded companies. You could have a Dow index, right? They're all following an index. And what is an index? Index is basically a list, usually published by some investment company like Standard & Poor's. That's where we get S&P 500, like Dow Jones Industrial Average. That's what you hear about every night on the news when they say the Dow is up, the Dow is down. That's the 30. It started as the 30 industrial companies in the United States. Now it's a mix. You got, I want to say Microsoft's in the Dow, Home Depot, a couple other companies that are not industrial companies, but industrial in terms of the sector, but they are major movers of the U.S. economy, and they're in there, right? So then you have all other kinds of indexes. And so instead of people trying to figure out what individual stock to buy, they can buy an index. Now, you have two kind of types of index. You have indexes that are mutual funds, and then you have index funds that are also ETFs. ETF stands for an exchange traded fund. One of the key components about an index fund is it's usually low in fees. It's usually low in fees. All right, so I'm just pulling up and I will share this on the screen as well. Go ahead and throw your questions in the comments and on the little question mark box over there in IG land. We'll throw this up on the screen. So here's the technical definition of what an index fund is. An index fund is an investment that tracks a market index, right? Like the S&P 500 or the Dow or the NASDAQ, typically made up of stocks or bonds. Sometimes they're also made up of commodities as well. Index funds typically invest in all the components that are included in the index they track. And they have fund managers whose job it is to make sure that the index performs the same as the index does. That's that last sentence is they do their job. The portfolio manager's job of the index fund is to do that. But basically all they're doing is they're allocating the funds to really match what the investment company is telling you to put in there. So for the most part, index funds are very much passive income or passive investing. Passive investing. So let me know if that makes sense. Put a 1 in the chat, y'all, if y'all got that. We're talking about investment funds. Can Atlanta Conference, how are you? It's Taid over there. So, Cavi, you got a question about starting a business, or did you just throw that out there? Is it Cavi or KV? Anor War? I hope I'm saying that right. How are you? Juice World, how are you? Brandy Curitan, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to everybody that just joined. Again, I'm Kamari Ellis. This is Wealthy Wednesdays. We do these every Wednesday to answer all of your money questions. Do me a favor. Share this out with somebody who wants to learn about money, who wants to increase their financial IQ and become financial masters. The only way you're going to become a financial master is to study, apply, and execute. But you also have to start with the goal with not wanting to just be literate. Y'all know I hate that term, financial literacy, because it's been pimped out by credit cards. I know it's a little nuanced. I know. But, and I know everybody says it, but it's just one of the things, one of my little pet peeves. So bear with me. Oh, okay, yes. So Carrie 333 was saying that using the infinity banking concept, you can put money into the insurance company or to your insurance policy, take it out, and buy a business with it. That is correct. Limited Living, how are you? What's up, Andrea? How you been? Kaiser Teach, how are you? So yes, you could definitely do that. You can definitely do that. JT Coin Rings, how are you? Welcome. All right, Brian Singleton said it makes sense. Cool. And Tiffany says evening. Hey, Tiffany, how you doing? All right, who else has questions? All right, so I'm getting one, so it's making sense. Everybody, come on, put ones in there. Let me see if it makes sense to y'all. Making sense to y'all, excuse me. My mother would have a fit. She would say, you're not enunciating your words. Nobody's going to understand you. All right, Jose's got a 1 in the chat as well. All right, appreciate y'all. Who else has questions tonight? Who else has questions? So what is on y'all mind, folks? What's on your mind? Now, if nobody has anything, again, y'all know I could just start talking about stuff. But I don't want to talk at y'all. I want to talk with you. Nothing. All right, Tiffany's good. All right. Tiffany, you know what? I tried to share the link with you last week because you said you wanted to get a shirt. But it didn't let me share it after the after the broadcast, man. So let me do this. Let me put that in. Let me put that in the chat right now. I'm actually working on some new designs too. I've always wanted to, like, I was very much inspired by the whole HBCU era of the late 80s, early 90s. I wish a lot more of those sweatshirts and shirts would come back. Some of them are, but not all of them. But I want to put out more merch like that. So if anybody is interested in getting some Financial Rebel merch and you want to rock the Financial Rebel brand, go ahead on over to, oh man, you messed up my flow. I messed up my flow. For some reason, oh, there it is. For some reason, it didn't go in. So go on over to bit.ly, bit.ly/FR_store. Basically, bit.ly/Financial Rebel _store. So, but that's in the chat right now. Hey, Miss Elegant Designs, how are you? Oh, it's Edith. Oh, hey, Miss Edith, how you doing? I'm buying, so caveats with stocks I'm buying. I'm buying boring stocks. I've been talking about that for a while also. Reed Parker, what's up, bro? All right, so Elizabeth is here. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you? Good evening, everyone. Can we talk about 401k fractional investments? So which part? We want to do 401k or do we want to do fractional investments? You do get an opportunity to do some sort of fractional investing inside of 401ks, but it's not the same. And I don't want to mix and match concepts. Curtis Davis, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know what, Marvin? Damn, I totally forgot about that. And I do owe you some merch. I owe a couple people some merch. I will get that out. I'll get that out tomorrow. My apologies on that too. It's just been crazy. Angela, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think I owe you a red sweatshirt, Marvin. I think it's red. Hey, Cynthia, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mahogany Miss, how are you? Over there on IG, how are you? All right, so while we're waiting on a bit of clarification, oh, y'all want to talk stock tonight. Let's see. There was one question I wanted to get back to, right? So yeah, Elizabeth, if you can give me a little bit more clarification on it, that you want to, I mean, I can talk about both, right? 401ks are great. 401ks are awesome. Matter of fact, shout out to Courtney, the Ivy investor, who was featured on CNBC talking about 401k plans. That is floating around my IG somewhere. I will definitely share it on my Facebook at some point also. But 401k plan, I think everybody should participate in them if your employer has one. Every employer doesn't have one, but usually your larger employer has one. And you should especially participate in your 401k plan if there is a match, which is free money. So a match might be the employer says, I'll match you dollar for dollar. Every dollar you put in, I'll match you up to 6% of your salary. That's free money. I've talked about that several times here. I think everybody should do it. I know a lot of times people don't get any attention from their 401k providers, or sometimes it's overwhelming. So there's two parts to that. I used to be the guy that used to go out to institutions and try to help people enroll them into their 401k plan, educate them on their 401k plan and retirements. So part of it was people wouldn't make the time. The other part of it was a lot of people didn't have the time. The employees didn't have the time. So they're running. When they get off work, they have other obligations, family, husband, children, dinner, bills, life. And so a lot of times there is not a fine meeting in the middle. But your 401k, is awesome. Matter of fact, we talked about 401k a little bit last Saturday when I reviewed the Black Stock Market Investor Review. When we talked about Melody Hobson, when we talked about that report. And Melody Hobson said that 401ks are often magical. And they're magical because they have the ability to leverage compounding and tax-free growth all at the same time. So I'm a big fan of 401ks. You hear a lot of goofy people running around out here saying 401ks are bad. They're goofy. They have no idea what in the world they're talking about. Please ignore them. Most of them don't have any kind of education, any kind of experience with advising people at all. And for the record, that's not to say that 401ks don't have their faults. They're not perfect. They're not perfect. But again, it's free money. And so a lot of times people will complain about the fees. But again, it's free money. It's free money. So you tell me where else you can go and get free money. By the way, a lot of people only think 401ks are for people who work a 9-to-5 job or the 12 to 8, graveyard shift. No, you could have a 401k if you are a business owner too. One of your best tax savings benefits will come from a retirement savings plan. So it would behoove you to check out a 401k plan. Now, Elizabeth also asked about fractional investing. Again, y'all know I talk about fractional investing all the time. You can do it on Robinhood. You can do it on Cash App. You can do it on Public. What is fractional investing? It's when you can buy a piece of a stock, right? So if I was somebody give me a stock symbol to look up. Somebody give me a stock symbol to look up. Tiger Eye Investments, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Miss Mahogany, I see your teledoc request. I got you. Timberland Brown, Timberland Browans. Am I saying your name right? I know you're in the Black Tech group with me. Hope I'm saying your name right. And Tamara Ra, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Somebody give me a stock ticker symbol to look up so I can finish explaining fractional shares. Anybody got one? Going once, going twice. All right. Jose came up with MSFT. MSFT, just off the top, that is Microsoft. That is the ticker symbol for Microsoft. Articles of Amazon. You know what? We're going to go with Amazon. Amazon might give some of y'all sticker shock. Let's go with Amazon. So if you wanted to invest in Amazon, many people will feel like, hey, I got to have the whole price, right? I got to have the whole thing. And by the way, Amazon is over $3,000. It's pretty steep. Jeff Bezos is over there running up the bag. Now that he stepped down, he's still running up the bag. But Amazon is $3,087.07. That's what it closed at today, folks. All right. $3,087. So a lot of people think, well, damn, I need $3,000, $3,087.07 just to buy one share of Amazon. But you don't. All you need is $1. So with fractional investing, you can buy a fraction of Amazon. You still get a piece of ownership. Now, again, some people will say, well, fractional investing, you can't get it when you transfer your money or they'll sell it out. That's true. But it's a great place to start, right? It's a great beginning place to start. I show y'all often some of what I call my public portfolio. No pun intended, because I am actually moving a lot of my public portfolio over to public. But again, you only need $1 to invest in this stock, and you can participate in the growth of Amazon. Now, Amazon right now is a $1.55 trillion company. So with $1, you can participate in ownership of a $1 trillion company. Now, they don't pay any dividends. Microsoft does. What I was going to say was, you can get dividends when they pay out. Amazon doesn't pay a dividend. Microsoft does. Microsoft is a $1.7 trillion company. Stock price is $235.46. That's what it closed out today. Guess what? You only need $1 to buy a fractional share of Microsoft. And listen, you get $1, then you start. That's where you start. Then you invest another $1, and then maybe you invest $5. But you just start with what you have. And I know a lot of people are like, well, what's the point of that? There's no money. Anybody ever saved their change in their change jar? I know change is like damn near dead now. But if anybody is like me and they've saved change, they know change can amass, right? A quarter here, a nickel there, a dime there, a penny here, right? It can amass pretty quickly. It can accumulate pretty quickly. It can grow pretty quickly. So a lot of times we don't give enough honor to the little things. But remember this, small hinges swing big doors. If you ever look at a really, really big door, it's usually a small hinge that's helping to swing it. It might be a couple of them, right? Point being is that you can take those pennies, those nickels, those dimes, those quarters, those Susan B. Anthony's, those silver dollars. You can start stacking them up and you can start leveraging them. And if you stay consistent, they will grow and your money will grow. So again, you can do a lot with fractional investing. A lot of y'all know I bought 100 shares in Ford just using fractional investing, just investing $25 here, $50 there, $75 there. I think my average cost, I'll do an update on that at some point. I think my average is like maybe around $9 or $10. I think the stock is like $12 or $13 right now. So again, I just did that over a couple of months, right? It's nothing fancy, nothing spectacular. It's just plain cold, hard savings and having a savings habit. But what a lot of us have to do is stop buying dumb stuff. Stop spending money on just things that will have no value over the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years and start investing into things that will. Now, typically, what am I basing this on? The stock market typically rises. It's one of the only asset classes that typically rises all the time. If you go back 100 years, you can see what the stock price was in 1921, and you can see what it is now. Big difference. Economy is different too, but they all tend to potentially rise. Now, Curtis Davis, you're using dirty words, man. We don't even mention that word. Penny stocks. Oh, penny stocks are the spawns of the devil. Cash you down to the pits of hell. You are terrible. I do feel that way, though. But I'm just playing around with you, Curtis. My man Doug's in the building. What's up, Doug? How are you, sir? Yes, Jody, it all adds up. So that's the benefit of fractional shares and fractional investing. So use it, y'all. Use it. The market is at an all-time high right now. There will be a correction. I'm not calling it now. I'm not saying the world's coming to an end. I'm not saying everybody should run for the hills. What I am warning you about right now is there will be a correction. And what you should do during that correction is act accordingly. What does that mean? What do you mean by act accordingly? It means to keep investing. Keep investing. Even when the market's down, keep investing. There was a video clip of me about a year ago in February of 2020 when the market started to fall. And everybody was panicking. Everybody was calling me. And I got featured on, I think it was 10 NBC or no, 10 CBS here in Philadelphia. And I told folks what to do. I said, keep investing. And guess what? So the market fell, kept falling in March. It rebounded in March. And then now we're at all-time highs. So, don't try to time the market. Don't try to time the market, folks. Just let it do its thing. Just let it do its thing. Hey, Evelyn, yes, you can buy stock for your grandchildren. Stockpile is a company. I don't have any affiliation with Stockpile. I tried to get one. They keep ignoring me. But I want to give the people what they need. Stockpile. Matter of fact, y'all should add Stockpile because I talk about them pretty often and say, why y'all ignoring the brother over here? All right. So, again, they're not perfect. Stockpile isn't perfect, but if you want to buy stocks for your children, your grandchildren, it's a great way to do it. You can get gift cards. You can get gift cards. Y'all know I'm really big on giving stocks as gifts for birthdays, holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Juneteenth, Malcolm X's birthday, Marcus Garvey's birthday, any of those important days that we as Black folks deem as worthy to be celebrated, we can give stock. We can give stock instead of trinkets and toys and things that won't mean anything later on down the line. All right, so just go to stockpile.com. That's one thing you can do. Evelyn, other thing you could look at is maybe opening a 529 plan for your grandchildren and putting money into their college fund, if that's something you want to do. You could also look at a custodial account for them, where you may own the account until they hit the age of majority, usually 18 or 21, and then the minor becomes an adult or of age of majority, and they can then take control of their own investments. Supposedly. But yes, Curtis Davis, again, I want to go back to that, right? Forget the penny stock part, but the quality better than penny stock, right? Quality, buy quality companies, right? Again, people try to make this thing super duper hard. Buy quality stocks, buy stocks that you already use, right? What I mean by that, each stock is a representation of a company. So we talked about Microsoft. Most of y'all probably use a Microsoft product either on your laptop, at home, or at work. If not, you might use some other kind of technology like Office. Almost everybody uses Office in a corporate setting. And so Microsoft's not going anywhere. By the way, this is not an endorsement or a recommendation to buy or sell stocks. All right. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Past performance is not an indicator of future results, which basically means that just because a stock is doing good today does not mean it will do good tomorrow. Just because a stock is doing bad today does not mean it will do good tomorrow or continue to do bad tomorrow, right? It just depends. But I would say continue to look for good companies, good businesses, and put your money there. For example, Microsoft has a great business model. Amazon has a great business model, right? They know how to make money. They know how to market it. They're not guessing over there. These companies are not telling you that they're great and that they're selling products, but all they're really selling is tax credits. Now, if y'all know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to give that away. But if y'all know what I'm talking about, put it in the chat if y'all know what company I'm talking about. All right. Doug said it. I did the same to show my adult children. I use M1. Yeah, any of these platforms are fine. I just give you the ones that I've used and are familiar with. So Marvin, what about exchange traded funds? Pros and cons. I love them. I've talked about them. I think I've talked about them with you, Marvin. Some would hail me as an expert in ETFs. I don't really like throwing around the expert or guru title. But when I worked professionally on Wall Street as an institutional portfolio manager, I managed ETFs. If you Google me, you'll see that I've written about ETFs. AFK is an ETF. The first ETF I wrote about got published on Seeking Alpha, and the company I was with wanted to fire me. All right, so Marvin says, what about exchange traded funds, pros and cons? Is there money in that kind of investment account? Absolutely. ETFs are running the market. ETFs are part of the reason why the market's up. They made it easier for people to invest. You get automatic diversification 9 times out of 10 when you get an ETF. An ETF is just like a mutual fund. It's the next evolution of the mutual fund. It's the cousin of the mutual fund, the younger cousin, right? But it's just fly, fresh, and bold, or more fly, fresh, and bold than the mutual funds, because typically mutual funds, you can only get the pricing at the end of the day around 6 o'clock. ETFs, all day long. They are liquid all day long. You can't get your money out of an ETF. Excuse me. You cannot get your money out of a mutual fund until about 6 o'clock. An ETF, I can put a trade in at 9:30 tomorrow morning and I get my money. I can put a trade in at 10:30 tomorrow and get my money. You can't do that with a mutual fund. Can't do that. All right, everybody who's just now joining, I'm seeing the ticker symbol, the ticker counts going up. I am Kamari Ellis. You're watching the Finance Rebel Show, right? We do this live every Wednesday. This is Wealthy Wednesdays, where I answer your money questions live. All right, so no money questions are off the table. It seems like folks want to talk about stock. It seems like all y'all want to talk about a stock, but I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it if you're cool with it. All right, so V&Q. All right, well, Sydney was just throwing it up there. Yep, Ford. Best ways to invest fractional shares and what's the quickest way to build retirement funds for 50 years? Quickest way to build retirement funds is to start investing, start saving. You can use a company like a Vanguard. You can use a company like Cash App. You can use a company like Public. The companies really don't matter, to be totally honest with you. They're all about the same. It's like a car, right? If you talk about Ford and GM and Cadillac and Mercedes, some of them are better than others in terms of the features. But at the end of the day, if you just want to go to point A to point B, they all do the same thing. Some may get your little gas mileage better. Again, some may have better colors. But at the end of the day, the core functionality, it's all the same. They're going to get you A to B. A to B. All right. All right. So Curtis says basic math. If you buy assets, stocks for 10 years, better off versus cars. Facts. The theory behind that, it's not even really theory because it's been proven. Cars depreciate when they drive off the lot, brand new. Stocks usually increase. Now, I will say this. Cars can give you better access to opportunities. So when you're evaluating a car, I think cars sometimes get a bad rep, right? They get a bad rep. But again, I live in the Philadelphia area. I started driving when I was 16. I had a car when I was 16. All of the jobs that I was able to get were in the surrounding counties where I was able to make more money than some of my counterparts, some of my friends, my contemporaries in the city, because I was able to travel a little bit further. So I was able to always have a job. My dad used to say, he got a car, he can get to a job. He ain't got no excuse. Now you can do that with a bus or train, right? I was going to say planes, trains, and automobiles, but y'all get it. You can do that sometimes, but sometimes it will limit your ability to make money. You want to give yourself every opportunity to make money as possible. All right. Marketing on RH good. Oh, marketing on Robinhood is good, but two free stocks not worth it. I mean, I don't have a problem with Robinhood. A lot of people mad at Robinhood because they don't understand the system over that whole GameStop thing, which is crazy to me, but that's a whole other thing. But I'm cool with it. I'm moving my stuff to Public. Now, if y'all want to rock with me over there, you'll get a stock. Oops, that's the wrong link. Ignore that link. I'm going to delete that link. Excuse me, folks. Let me find my link for Public. But if you want to come over to Public and join Public with me, you'll get a free stock. I'll get a free stock. So I always have to disclose if there's some kind of compensation, because I don't want to mislead folks. I'm going over to Public. Public has a very cool feature. It's very much like a social media platform. So again, you can come on over to Public and get a free stock. I'll get a free stock. All right. So Curtis says, drove Honda for nearly 10 years. No real reason to continue to rebuy cars. Yeah, I get it. And that makes sense economically and financially. There are some people, though, I do have some clients who love to get a car every couple of years, and I tell them to lease. Because a lot of times it doesn't make sense to own the car and own the asset, especially if you know that they're going to get a new car. So one of the things about money is keeping it real with yourself. One, can you afford the thing? Right? And if you can afford the thing, what's the best way to own or utilize the thing? Sometimes ownership really doesn't matter. Advantages of low fees and no low fees. I don't like mutual funds. I think I've said it before. I'll say it again. Not really a fan of mutual funds. That's part of the reason, because many of them have loads. So when you see A share, B share, C share, there's different expense ratios within these loads or within these mutual funds. I tend to avoid them altogether. That's why I like ETFs. ETFs do the same job as mutual funds, but have way more pack of the punch. It's a lot better. A lot better. All right, so this is public. Again, if anybody wants to do it, the link is in the chat. Click it. You will get a free stock. I will get a free stock. Sorry to my people that are listening on the podcast. And the people that are on IG, I guess I could read it out, right? So everybody can kind of keep along. Again, it's another bit.ly link. Bit.ly, you can go to bit.ly, bit.ly/FR public invite. Spell out public. Again, bit.ly/FR public invite. And FR public invite is all one word. All one word. But I'll be sharing more over there about some of my investments, the rationale of some of my holds. So, you can get a share and you just follow me just to see what I'm talking about. Now, I don't say that for you to come over there and just jack my trades, which I really don't care about. I care more about you developing your own process, because tomorrow's not promised and I might not be here. So what are you going to do if I'm not here? Am I going to stop the show? I hope not. Hope it doesn't stop your show. You are in charge of your show. And just going back to what I kind of started off the beginning of the show with, making jokes about all these online celebrities and gurus. Always do your research, folks. So you can hear me say something. That's cool. Do your research. Don't just rely on me. Because guess what? It ain't my money. It's your money. And guess what? If you lose money, it ain't my money. It's your money. And so you must always be the best steward of your money first and foremost. What am I trying to say, y'all? First and foremost. That's what I'm trying to say. So it just, again, we got to start taking this thing really seriously. Start taking it really seriously. All right. Any questions? Did I miss anybody? See a couple people joined on IG. Stevie Black, how are you? Sherwin 1906, how are you? And Epic Success. Cavi 333 says, you like Ford? Yeah, I mean, listen, it's been growing, right? And that goes back to part of the reason why I like Ford more than, let's say, a GM. Even though GM has new leadership, we got a woman CEO. She's doing pretty good. But I didn't like GM, or I don't like GM, part of their history, right? When they got bailed out by the government, they had like all kinds of executive elevators where executives would go up. They didn't want to be bothered with the commoners, spend a whole bunch of money wasting it on things back in the day. Ford didn't need any bailout money. Now I'm going back to a couple of market cycles, right? We can't afford to be short-sighted and have short-term memory. And so that's what I'm going back to. I feel like Ford has been a bit more innovative in things, but I've been seeing some things coming out of GM that made me go, Competition's heating up. Trucking with Miss T, how are you? Welcome. A Scoop 79, how are you? Welcome. This is Wealthy Wednesdays. Any questions you might have about money, taxes, stocks, investments, real estate, business, go ahead and throw them in the chat. I am here, been here for about an hour, here for a couple more minutes. Got to get my vittles. I know I don't play about my food. I've been working all day. Been working all day and all night. So any other questions before we begin to start wrapping up will be excellent. Yes, I agree, Curtis. Investing needs to be a priority in the Black community, but education needs to be the priority. Financial education, to me, needs to be the overall priority, because a lot of times we like to chase lottery tickets. Everybody is looking to get rich real quick. And getting rich or getting wealthy usually doesn't happen real quick. It can. A lot of things got to align for you. But Ben Franklin said one of the best dividends one of the best investments you can make is to pay a dividend into yourself. Or I'm sorry, I'm jacking that quote up. One of the best paying dividends is an investment in yourself. So invest in yourself, education, and don't just go to these people who just started talking about stocks or options or Forex like 5 minutes ago. Go to the people who've been talking about it and like are reputable, and they're not sleazy. Some of these folks are sleazy. Some of these folks are straight crooks. But all I can say is do your research, folks, on everybody and everything. You know what's funny? I have a new client. I won't say their name, but met them through IG and said they're really good on intuition. And he said they were examining my videos. They was checking out my eyeballs, seeing if I had some demons back there in my soul. Now I'm joking, and I told her I was going to make a joke about this, but check people out. Check them out deeply before you, one, follow them, two, invest any money, or listen to them. Everybody ain't who they say they are. I'll just leave it at that. The net worth of Black family decreases without stocks and financial literacy. I would agree. I mean, I kind of talk about that a lot, Curtis. I talked about that a whole lot last Saturday after going over that Black stock investor survey that Ariel Investments and Charles Schwab does every year. So, Solomon Thomas, how are you? Welcome. So, any other questions as we begin to wrap up, folks? Any questions? Going once, going twice. All right, well, listen, if there's no more questions, we will begin to wrap up. Again, I'm Kamari Ellis. This is Wealthy Wednesdays. Wealthy Wednesdays is a segment of the Finance Rebel Show. The Finance Rebel Show comes out all the time, usually every Monday, every Friday is a podcast. We do these broadcasts on Wednesday and also Saturdays. So Wednesday at 8, Saturdays at noon. This Saturday, I was going to have Jose come on. Jose, I might have to call an audible because this week has been crazy. But one of the things Jose and I are going to do, because he brought it up, is talk about those top 5 Black stock companies or top 5 Black-owned stock companies, and just do a fundamental analysis on them, or an analysis on them. I might add a little technical in there, and look to see if they are good investments. Everybody asks about them. Jose brought it up. And, one of the things I've been really wanting to do is have more community conversations, have some folks wanting to join in with the conversations that don't normally do it, right? So we could all be here, have a voice, be heard. So we could all be here and, have a weigh in on this thing so we could really, really get deep into this. All right, so Curtis says, do you ever get tired as a former pro? Tired in what way, Curtis? Tired in what way? I mean, if you mean like tired of doing this, I mean, I'm a human being. I get tired. I need my foods. I got a cup of coffee here. By the way, y'all can get this Finance Rebel mug at that link I put in earlier. But tired. I mean, I love education. I really have a teacher's heart. And I don't do this for the money. I do it for free. Now, I'll be honest, I also love content. I fell in love with this whole thing when I was doing radio a couple of years ago. I had a radio show here in Philadelphia on 900 AM, WURD. Shout out to WURD, the only Black-owned talk radio station in the state. So, just fell in love with the just interaction. And I'll be honest, a lot of times, well, previously, I'm doing all the studying, I'm doing all this reading, and I don't have nobody to talk to about it. I don't have anybody to benefit from it. And I don't want to just keep it all to myself because, again, I'm teacher-minded, teacher heart, but I'm also community-minded as well. The reason why I really started to dive deep and study and nerd out on this is because Black community is in peril. And at one point, I thought money was the answer. Money's not the answer. I realized that. There's some other things going at play within our community. But money is a big part of it, right? So I still stick to that mission. I will talk about some cultural things, though, because I think cultural things are relevant and important. For example, I feel that education is not respected enough in our community. And I'm not talking about just college, right? I mean, because there's people that go to college and they don't study a book, open a book, crack a book after they graduate. And so with our overall position, education should always be at the forefront. Our ancestors and many of our elders knew that, but I feel like we've kind of lost the way. And I'm not saying just to nerd out just for the sake of nerding out. There's always more to do. Like, we give more reverence and praise to athletes than we do to intellectuals and scholars. I think it should be both, right? Because I don't think you should put down the athletes too, because athletes are geniuses as well. Just think about Muhammad Ali. The man could throw a jab in a split second time and give you a rhyme or riddle probably at the same time. Man was a genius. All-star athlete, though. He was an athlete. He was a scholarly athlete. Jim Brown, another one, right? I mean, there's a lot. So I feel we need to make education a primary focus in our community. I mean, yeah, they are. I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to jump over this. It's funny, right? Because there's this conversation, just going back to Curtis's comment, right? Curtis says, common folks in Black community are hard to convince to change culture / mindset. Now, he's saying that from a position of love. I can feel it, right? Some people would say, oh, he's being bougie, or he's being elitist, or, oh, he's looking down. I get that sometimes as well. Only reason I really don't care, but it does bother me. Only reason it bothers me because it furthers us from getting to our goal. When you look at the numbers, right? Let's talk about the numbers real quick, and I am going to go. But when you look at the numbers, our unemployment rate, the Black unemployment rate, is par to what it was when King marched on Washington. King marched on Washington in 1963. It is now 2021. We still have to fight for voters' rights in 2021. I still have to have conversations with people to explain to them the importance of elections and voting. No, it is not everything. Yes, we do have to do for self and take care of ourselves. I see this video floating around where the young man's talking to Roland Martin, where he says he doesn't vote. He doesn't believe in voting or waiting on government. He believes in doing for self. That's cool, but it's not an either or conversation, or it should be an either or premise. We need both. It's and. We should make people accountable for our tax dollars. And we should do for self in our community, creating programming in our community. It's not an either or. Somewhere along the way in our educational system, they told us that these extremes are really, really good. I wonder why. When you look at who's in charge of educating us, But, you know, a lot of times, a lot of people don't want to have those conversations. They feel that they're boring. I think we should be having those conversations a lot more. It would lead us to a lot more discovery. Forget the answers. Just get the questions. So that's what I'm going to leave y'all with tonight. Forget the questions. Forget the answers. Ask more questions about everything in life. Again, forget the answers. Ask questions. And then ask more questions. And then ask another question. And then ask why. Keep asking those questions until those questions are solved. All right, folks. I don't want to get on my soapbox too much more. But I appreciate you all being here. I will be back Saturday, if not sooner. Remember, tax season has been extended by 32 days to end on May 17th. But that does not mean you wait until May 17th. All right, everybody, have a great night. Do me a favor, like this broadcast, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or IG, and share it out with someone. And I will see you all the next time. Have a great night. Bye-bye.